You have booked your flight tickets and you're super excited to shoot your next destination. But you're worried about carrying all the camera gear while flying and not getting into any trouble. Don't worry, I can understand it can be a bit overwhelming, but I'm here to help. Hey guys, I'm Saurav. Welcome to the channel. I hope you guys are doing good. Today we are talking about do's and don'ts you need to remember while flying with all the camera gear that you have. I'll try to answer all the possible questions so that you don't have to be worried. Sounds good? So without wasting any time, let's get started. First and foremost, any delicate piece of camera equipment should be in your cabin bag. Cameras, lenses, microphones, even tripods are allowed in your cabin bags. Just ensure they are within the size limit. Any piece of equipment you put in the check luggage, make sure you wrap it with clothes or bubble wrap so that they are protected. Please don't rely on the way the airport staff handles your luggage bags. You can use a fragile sticker, but 9 out of 10 times it's not going to make a difference. Strictly no batteries in the check luggage. Make sure all the batteries are in the cabin bag. Chargers, however, are allowed in the check luggage provided they don't contain any batteries. Always before booking the flight tickets, make sure to check the baggage restrictions, both the dimensions and the weight. Dimensions most of the times is not an issue unless and until the bag is too big, but the weight can be. The most important decision you have to make while packing your camera bags is what gear do you bring with you and what gear do you leave at home. More the number of gear, more difficult it is to make this decision. I spend a lot of time deciding what cameras and lenses am I going to bring with me for a particular trip, and it is never the same. For example, I love using prime lenses. But the problem is, if I want to cover a decent enough focal range, I have to carry 4 or 5 prime lenses, which is not practical considering the weight limit. What I tend to do is carry a combination of zooms and primes. If you have been following me for quite some time, you know that I love using the 7200 2.8. But on a recent trip, I had to choose between the 7200 2.8 and the 85mm 1.2. Both are different lenses, had to choose one unfortunately because of the weight limit. The question I asked myself is, what is more important? The focal range or the wide aperture? And that is how I made a decision. The answer will always keep on varying depending on the kind of subjects I want to shoot, depending on the kind of look I'm going for. And I know I might sound very confident, but trust me, there have been a lot of times where I reach a location and then I figure out I should have carried this lens instead of this one and I start regretting. Might happen with you as well. Nothing to worry about. It's a learning process. Eventually you will figure out what combination works for you. One thing people are scared of, including me, is when you have to keep each and every piece of the camera equipment inside the tray for security checking. From the moment you keep all the camera gear in the tray till the moment you receive it, I know the heartbeats gets faster. I have been there, I can completely relate to you. For your peace of mind, when you keep all the camera gear in the tray, click a picture with your mobile phone. Later, if something happens, you can talk to the security, you can talk to the insurance company. Let the tray pass through the security checking machine and then proceed for the security checking. I know it can be a bit overwhelming, but remain calm and careful. A major concern while flying is carrying a drone. Every country has a different sets of rules and regulations when it comes to drones. Some countries allow you to keep the drone in the cabin bag. Some will ask you to keep the body of the drone in the checked luggage and the batteries in the cabin bag. Again, no batteries in the checked luggage. The rules can also change, so make sure a week before you fly, you are updated regularly on what the latest rules are. Ideally, carrying the drone body along with the blades in the checked luggage and the batteries in the cabin bag should not cause any problems, unless and until the place you're flying from or the place you're flying to has any specific drone related restrictions. There was this one time I remember, the security guy asked me why am I carrying a drone. I explained it to him that I am a photographer, I'm traveling to these places and I'm going to use the drone only for photography purposes. I had the bill along with the serial number in case he wants to verify it. Some people have also faced issues with microphones. Unfortunately, maybe the security guy did not have an idea about what the equipment is, and he might ask you some questions. Don't worry, do not panic, just explain him why you need that particular piece of equipment and it is not harmful. If you explain properly, if you have all the necessary documents, you will be good to go. Carrying the official bill, which also has the serial number of the product, is always a smart decision and is not only restricted to drones. Especially in some countries, the customs department will ask you to show the proof of purchases for all the gear you're carrying. Happened with me twice while I was flying back to India. If I did not have the bills with me then, I would have got into trouble. One more thing I usually do is print a letter which has all the details of the camera gear that you're carrying and get it stamped by the customs department before you take off. I'll put a sample letter download link in the description below. Download it, fill in your details and get it stamped next time before you fly from the customs department, and you won't face any issues. Usually the validity is of 1 year, and I only faced this issue while flying back to India. Rest of the countries didn't seem to bother much about it. I have had a lot of different experiences. There was this one time where the security guy did not allow me to carry the Allen key because he thought it is sharp and can be dangerous. The smart thing to do is not argue and learn from your experiences. Henceforth, any sharp piece of equipment goes in my checked luggage. One last tip, if you're an iPhone user, I would highly recommend to buy a AirTag. Buy multiple AirTags for your cabin bags, for your checked bags. Unfortunately, if your bags gets misplaced, you can track it, you can contact your respective airline and get it back. AirTags are not very expensive and completely worth the cost. That's it from this video, guys. I hope this video was helpful and I hope I have answered all your questions and you're not as worried as you were before watching the video. If you have any more questions, feel free to drop them down in the comments below and I'll try and get back to you. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, press the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Bye.